Hey Hillary, congratulations! You're a three-time loser. Not only did you lose on election day, you lost also on your recount, and now you lost yesterday with the electors. In fact, you had more faithless electors than Trump did. And you are by far the worst Democratic candidate in my lifetime. Worse than Mondale, worse than Dukakis, even McGovern. Now, I know you're going to try this last ditch if the Russians stole the election for Trump. Bullshit. Nobody believes that either. And nobody believes you. Because you are a lying old hag. Now, let's take a look at the real reasons that you lost the election. First of all, let's start with the over 50 crowd who you lost. Let's see. Now, those folks who are over 50, like myself, can remember the first go-around with the Clinton administration, with your hub, Slick Willie. And how did that go? Well, let's see. We remember the Whitewater land scam. That's right. As soon as you came into office, you were under a cloud of corruption because of what you did in the Whitewater land deal. And what was the Whitewater land deal? Well, that's where you and your friends built a bunch of senior citizens out of their life savings. Now, most of your friends went to jail because of that. But you and Slick slipped off the hook and got away with it. How about Travelgate? Oh, yes, that's right. When you and your hubby came into office, the very first thing you did was fire all those career professionals in the travel office for the White House. And who did you put in? All your friends. Next, you gave us Filegate. That's right. We remember all them files that were subpoenaed and you couldn't find them. And then all of a sudden they turn up in the closet in your bedroom in the White House. We remember all that. Oh, and how about good old Vince Foster? That's right. The guy who knew where all the bones were buried. And when it came time for him to testify, and it looked like he might get hit with a truth stick, he had to be disposed of. We all remember the old Vince Foster. Yeah, we remember that. How about when you and Slick Willie rented out the Lincoln bedroom? That's right. You rented out the Lincoln bedroom to all your cronies to pocket a few extra bucks. How about the, let's see, oh yes, the cattle futures, where you took $1,000 and turned it into $100,000. And you said that you got so wise on the stock market by reading the New York Times. That was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So that's why you lost the over 50 vote, because many of us remember the first go-around in the Clinton administration and what a bunch of corrupt cronies you really are. Now, it probably didn't help with your health issues. That's right. Going into practically a coma at the 9/11 ceremony and passing out and having to be thrown into the Scooby van didn't look real good, didn't give a lot of people confidence that you were healthy enough to carry out the role of President of the United States. It didn't help when you were giving speeches and you were spitting up some sort of green glob into a glass of water. And it probably didn't help that you have an entire medical staff who runs around behind you and even gives you injections in the middle of speeches when you wig out. That probably didn't help you either. Now, how about these Sanders supporters? Boy, they sure didn't come out for you, did they? I wonder why. Do you think, Hillary, it had something to do with the fact that they realized that you, the DNC, and the left-wing media were collaborating and colluding to screw Bernie and his supporters out of the nomination? Do you think that that might have been in their minds when they went to vote on Election Day? I think maybe it was. And how about the Wall Street speeches? That's right, the ones you were paid $200,000 for to give an hour speech, the ones you wouldn't release the transcripts of. Now, those Bernie supporters, they love Wall Street, don't they? Now, how about those trade deals? That's right. While the first Clinton administration, you gave us NAFTA, CAFTA, GATT, and the WTO, you wanted to top all that off and drive the final nail in the coffin for American manufacturing by giving us TTP and TTIP. Of course, you changed your mind once you found out it wasn't popular, but nobody believed you because they know that you are a liar. So those trade deals certainly didn't help you either with the Bernie bros. How about women? You were supposed to win the women's vote because you're a bitch. But what happened? Donald Trump got 53% of the women vote. Do you think it might have something to do with sicking those thugs on the rape victims of your husband? We heard all about that, and it probably didn't help that as a young attorney, you helped get a rapist off the hook for raping a 13-year-old girl, and then you laughed about it. That probably didn't help you very much either. Now let's see. How about some more things that probably cost you the women vote? How about the fact that you accept money from Middle Eastern dictators, billions of dollars that they contribute to the Clinton Foundation, and millions of dollars into your personal bank account? These are countries where they treat women like dogs, or they stone them to death. These are the type of people you take money from. Probably didn't help you very much with the women vote. Now let's talk about that fantastic experience that you were trying to run on of your foreign policy. Let's see, we had the wonderful foreign policy successes in Benghazi and Libya and Syria, Ukraine, Honduras, and Egypt. That's right, wonderful successes in that foreign policy. Maybe that's why you lost. How about the no-fly zone in Russia? That's a fantastic foreign policy agenda to have. I know, let's start a war with a nuclear power. That would be fantastic. Of course, you can't do much better than guaranteeing if you become president that you will bomb Iran. That's right, you'll go to war with Iran, even though they have two friends named Russia and China who have nuclear weapons and financial, economic interest in the region. So that may have had something to do with your losing the election. How about threatening to go to war over cyber hacks? That's a fairly measured response, I'd say. Now, how about the $160 billion in weapons deals to those Middle Eastern countries who donated to the Clinton Foundation? Your pay-to-play Ponzi scheme. That probably didn't help you very much either. How about the illegal server that you set up? Illegal and unencrypted, where you receive tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of State Department emails, many of them classified, secret, some top secret, and even some SAP. That means programs so secret we don't even admit they exist. I'm sure that did a lot for your campaign as well. How about the here's one. How about when the worst flood in 100 years hit Louisiana and you couldn't find time to go down and pay them a visit? You had plenty of time to give a couple of speeches to some millionaire donors and plenty of time for rest, but you had no time to go down to Louisiana. But Trump did. That may be why you lost the vote. Of course, you probably thought, well, people in Louisiana aren't going to vote for me anyway, so fuck them. And they fucked you on election day. Now, how about calling half the country deplorable? That was a fucking brilliant idea. How about you go out and you verbally assault half the country? That's a fantastic plan for getting elected president, Hillary. How about the here's a good one. How about the sanctuary cities? That's right, as Americans are watching what's happening in Europe, watching these incredible terrorist attacks that are happening every day, you come out in support of 550% increase in Syrian refugees and more refugee or sanctuary cities. That's a real fucking popular plan. Maybe that's why you lost. How about kids? They can't vote, but mommy and daddy can. And I don't think it's any secret for anyone who has an internet connection that you charged a little girl $2,700 to ask you a fucking question. A planted question at that. Maybe that's why you lost. Let's see. Oh yes, one of my favorites. You thought you had Wisconsin in the bag. Unfortunately, you did not. Because in Wisconsin, they don't like you. Nobody likes you. Donald Trump went to Wisconsin and he rung it up on Election Day. So I could go on for another hour, Hillary, but I figure you get the point at this point. So the fact of the matter is, you lost because you were the worst candidate in history, probably, for the Democratic Party, certainly in my lifetime, because nobody likes you. Nobody trusts you. Nobody believes you. You are a pathological liar, a money-grubbing whore, a warmonger, and really, maybe one of the lowest creatures on the planet of this earth. You are really fucking scum. Now, let's talk about one last thing. You're still trying to play this Russia card, that Russia hacked the DNC or whatever. But you should probably do a little online research, because what you'll find is that nobody fucking believes that. Just about everybody knows now that the guy who leaked the documents, the DNC leaks, was Seth Rich. And we know what happened to Seth Rich. He ended up like our good friend Vince Foster. That's right. So I can understand why you and your friends really don't want to tell us who really leaked the DNC documents, because they would find out that it's Seth Rich, and then they would realize that he was killed. And then they would wonder maybe that had something to do with it, and it might lead back to you. So really, Hillary, I don't blame you for running the Russia thing. I wouldn't want Seth Rich being plastered all over the headlines of the internet or the newspapers or the news media either. A lot of questions to be answered there, and we'll keep asking them. In the meantime, Hillary, I just want to say congratulations on being a 3-time loser, and fuck you. It's been a wonderful ride. Now, go straight to hell and take that scumbag, sleazy, pervert husband of yours and all your friends and all your fucking pizza buddies. You all can go straight to hell. Fuck you. We're done with you. And if you try to run in 4 years, you better find a very good attorney, because I'm pretty sure your ass is going to be in jail. Bye, Hillary.